So far, we have already discussed three factors that could shape consumers' purchasing decision. The first one is the price of our good. The second one is income. The third one is price of related goods. Now, here we're going to check out the fourth factor, which is taste or preference. Okay. We're going to talk about two quick examples. The first one is Coca-Cola, the most economically successful beverage on the global market. Back in 1930s, when China just opened its market to the rest of the world, Coke went to China with the expectation that there would be a huge success. But in the first few years, Coke found that its sales grew at a pretty slow rate. Okay? And its marketing team realized that there's one thing in China pretty close to Coke, which is the traditional Chinese medicine. Okay? In a traditional way, Chinese people use a lot of herbs, plants, veggies, and boil them. And they believe that these traditional Chinese medicines could be used for medical purposes. Okay? And that's why you see here on the slides that these medicines look pretty much like Coke. Some of them even taste like Coke. Okay? So you could imagine how hard the Coke was at the early stage in terms of convincing people that this is a pretty cool drink, and otherwise nobody wants to take a bottle of Coke to the gym, to the baseball game, basketball game, okay, because it looks just like the Chinese medicine, right? Traditional medicine. So you could say this is an example, this is a failure, okay? And the second example is this. This gemstone is called the heart of the ocean, okay? And it's a pretty rare gemstone. So what you see, around it, used as a decoration, these are the real diamonds. But compared to these, the gemstone, these diamonds are near to nothing. Okay. For a long time, people already realized that there's a more affordable substitute. Okay? It's called tanzanite. Okay. After some industrial process, it could look just like the heart of the ocean. Okay, this very deep blue color. However, the rich people who can afford these pretty luxury jewelries would like to go with the authentic one and not the more affordable one. Okay. The interesting thing took place in 1997. Okay. The movie Titanic went on the market, and people find that Kate Winslet was this ocean, the heart of the ocean in the movie. Okay. Actually, when they shot the movie, they went to one of the museums and wanted to borrow this gemstone for the movie, but the museum turned them down. Okay, so eventually they have to use the tanzanite, the more affordable one, to make these the jewelry. Okay, so after the release of the movie, we see more and more celebrities start wearing tanzanite, like Beyonce and other ones. Okay, so gradually it has been widely accepted by the market. Okay, so the tanzanite becomes more popular. Okay, so you could take this as an example. In the past 2 or 3 decades, there's one branch of economics. It's called the behavioral economics, where the taste and preference of consumers had been intensively studied. Okay, because we really want to know where the taste or preference comes from. Okay, or how could we shape or reshape people's taste or preference. Okay, and a lot of studies in this field are actually the overlapping field between economics and psychology. Okay, and we find this is quite useful in terms of the business marketing strategies. For example, many of us probably have a preference between Coke and Pepsi. Okay, you probably prefer Coke over Pepsi or Pepsi over Coke. Have you ever thought about where that preference comes from? It's probably from your family, okay, or your close friends, your boyfriend, girlfriend, okay. And again, these taste and preference is a very important factor. People would decide what they want to buy and how much they would like to buy. Okay. The fifth factor that would affect market demand, not individual demand, but market demand, is the number of buyers or consumers. This is very straightforward. When we get more buyers on the market, then the market demand would be higher. Okay. The very last factor here is a consumer's expectation about future prices or income. Okay. Now, an example could be when we believe that the gasoline price is gonna go down next week. Do you believe you're gonna, stop at the gas station and purchase gas today? Most of us probably won't, right? If we still have gas in our gas tank, we would like to wait till next week, okay? So that when we purchase the gas, it will become cheaper, right? And vice versa, if we believe next week the gasoline price will go up, we're gonna rush to the gas station and fill the gas tank before the gasoline price goes up, right? So what we're saying is, looking at today, the gasoline price doesn't change. What has been changed is just our expectation. We expect the gasoline price to change in the future. That would change our purchasing decision for today. Okay. The expectation on the future income, you can also find an example around you, especially during the spring term of each year, when we see our graduating seniors start buying a lot of stuff, like a new iPhone, a new pickup truck, a new MacBook, a new PlayStation, a lot of things. Now, when you look at their income, their current income, it doesn't change. They are still full-time students. But what has been changed is they know in the summer they're going to land a job, they're going to get decent pay, so their income will go up in the future. Now, with the credit cards in our pockets these days, it's pretty easy for our graduating seniors to consume or purchase ahead of time. Okay, so they know they will be able to pay it back, and they would like to start purchasing the stuffs they really want to purchase at this moment. Okay, so when your expected income goes up in the future, you're going to consume more today. You're going to purchase more today. Okay, and vice versa. When you expect a lower future income, you would start cutting your consumption expenditure, which we oftentimes see during the crisis period, like right now, the COVID-19. Okay. All right. Now, you probably already noticed that, I put one uppercase letter right after each factor, okay, like here, and the number of buyers. Because when you put these 6 factors we already discussed together, it's tulip, okay? It sounds like tulip, all right? And this is just my way to help you remember these factors, okay? And I said on day 1 that I hate to ask you to memorize anything, but if you like, you can still memorize these, okay? Or you can just go ahead and do, the problem sets, worksheets, and after, sufficient exercises, then you should be able to, keep them in your mind without intentionally memorizing it. Okay. Now, once again, T here stands for taste or preference. E is a consumer's expectation. R is price of related goods, including substitutes and complements. N is number of buyers. I is income, and P is the price of our good. Okay, so here we're not trying to give you a thorough list of all factors that could shape people's purchasing decisions, but we do believe these 6 factors are among the most important ones. Okay. All right. So here we already wrap up the discussion about what could determine people's purchasing decision. Okay. And on the next video, we're gonna start talking about how they're gonna affect demand versus quantity demanded. So we would like to work on the graph. Okay.